diary of a sociopathic mother-in-law next door entry. Today's date is Friday the 5th of September 2025. It's around 10:20 in the morning. The sun's out, the sky is blue. There's a few white fluffy clouds, but the forecast looks optimistic. And so where are we? Last entry was Sunday, 5 days ago. What's happened? Nothing. Oscar's still not been home, as in she hasn't been home for any significant time. I've seen her now in total. I'm aware of her coming home 3 times just for a few moments to either drop off something or pick something up. So she is still, on the surface of it, moved out. But we still have had no communication. She still hasn't told the Beacon her news, her things, and the Beacon is still not in the right frame of mind or emotional frame of mind to have it out or to listen to whatever it is she's got to say. And I don't blame her. But obviously it's dragging on, it's getting difficult to deal with. So, the other day, I can't recall what day it was, I think it was Wednesday, I was coming back from a run, or actually, she pulled up, no, let me get this right, I returned from work in the car, and as I pulled into the village, I saw her car outside our house. My heart sinks, oh God, she's here. I hope she's not back for good. It's the first thing you think, I hope she's not back for good. That's where I am. That's where we are, I suppose. It's definitely where I am. So anyway, I quickly got changed, went out for a run. Car was there when I went out for a run. The run's about 35 minutes, whatever. Car's there as I approach the house, and I'm preparing myself. What happens if I bump into her on the drive? What would the Beacon say? What would the Beacon say? Just keep your gob zipped. Don't lower yourself to speak to her. She'll just feed off you. She'll just bring you down to her level. It's futile. She's perfect. Everybody else is wrong. So, thankfully I had that word with myself, because as I turned around the corner onto the drive, there she was, walking down, singing do-a-diddy-diddy-dum-diddy-day. She didn't look good. So there she was, about 3-4 feet away, obviously walking towards us. And she got a shock when she saw us, easily startled. These low vibrational creatures are easily startled. So anyway, I looked straight at her, but like straight through her, if that makes sense. My gaze, I didn't change any gaze. I just looked at her, but I held my gaze in this position. I didn't follow her, so I looked straight through her and beyond her. And she just played her poker face. But the interesting thing was she had a plant in a pot, carrying it to her car, and it was a house plant. So she's going to collect a house plant. So this is positive signs. And she's obviously taken her moments to come back to do this. One thing is for sure, she doesn't know when I'm going to be in. I'm in a lot, work from home a lot, and I normally get the bus, so she's got no marker in terms of a car on or off the drive. I just happen to had the car this day, so she doesn't know when I'm going to be in. But anyway, she's obviously choosing her time when the beacon's not going to be in. Imagine a scenario where you thought, ooh, right, I've got to go back to my lair, get my house plant, and why don't I go at like 6 p.m? And if the beacon's car's on the drive, I'll give her a knock and just say, look, I know you don't feel ready, but I just need to tell you this, darling. I've got some news, can I just tell you? No. That sort of logic, rational, common sense approach, using empathy and compassion, which comes from a place of love, that's not an option. Just to sneak about. Because she's a coward. She can't go into battle unless it's pre-arranged and she's fully organised and got her battle tactics ready. She can't just be spontaneous. And that approach that I've just described about, go and knock on the door and just speak to her, you kind of got to show your vulnerable side. You've got to be kind and gentle, and you're not going to walk into somebody's house and bulldoze them. So that's why she's not going to do it. And so when I say a coward, what I mean is she hasn't got the courage to be a bigger person. She's trapped in pride. Hi, are you alright?
Don't fall over him this time.
Where was I? She's trapped in ego pride. The husk. She can't rise above that. And be a proper human about it. So anyway, yeah, so I had that interaction, not an interaction, but I saw a house plant. Yeah, signs are looking good. The only thing I'm worried about is, the longer this drags on, I fear I fear her coming back. That's what I fear, her coming back. I want her gone. Obviously, the main thing is I want our energy back, away from this low frequency, negative, ego, pride, fear, guilt, shame energy which she oozes. She can only rise out of shame by projecting that onto others, and the more shame she can project onto the beacon, the scapegoat, the more she can rise back up to pride, hubris, and then eventually fall again back down to shame and guilt, and project that onto the scapegoat and rise back up using fear tactics, and back up to pride, back up to hubris, and then the fall comes again. That's the loop, the consciousness loop that she's trapped in. And whoever she's around, especially if you live with her, that's the loop she wants to keep you in. Because it's the only way she can actually survive in survival mode. Just ran past her there. Stupid fucking oops. And a codependent relationship. But yeah, that's the loop. She wants to keep people in. She wants people dependent on her, and she needs people in that abuse cycle to groom them into becoming dependent on her. And this is the only place she can exist, between guilt, shame, fear, apathy, anger, and pride, ego, pride, looking down on others. Now, this level of pride it's the highest you can get when you're attached to your ego, and you can only look down on people with arrogance and hubris if they are in a lower state of consciousness. Fear, guilt, shame, apathy, anger. That's where she feels power. When you're in that frequency, that's the energy she feeds off. That's what feeds her ego, feeds her dysfunctional pride. It's not sustainable. Pride comes before the fall. And that's the cycle. She needs you trapped in the cycle so she can feed off you, make herself feel better. Because she's a husk. So, this morning, took the beginning of work in the car, and she was totally emotionally drained. It wasn't good. Didn't go well this morning in terms of, everybody getting ready, and teenage daughter has difficult at the best of times in the school mornings. She's emotionally drained. You can see it, physically shattered through emotional drainage. And how do you pick the right time when this is the morning? People got to get to work, school, all the rest of it. So I took her to work and I just tried to have a gentle conversation. A gentle conversation, but getting to the point. And yeah, she's feeling overwhelmed because it's been over 2 weeks now since the husk sent that message and has technically moved out. But it's been 8 weeks, 9 weeks since they've actually seen each other properly. And lots of things have been said by the husk to me in that period, because obviously I've been confronting her, and obviously I've told the beacon, and this is all unresolved issues. So this has been going on 8, 9, 10 weeks, however long. But yeah, 2 weeks since she sent that text and then technically moved out. And the beacon is feeling, I know I have to deal with this now. Like, you can't hide from it forever. Her kind of words. I know the time's coming, I have to deal with it. And that's the pressure. The honeymoon period is over, i.e. she hasn't been at the house for 2 weeks. You now feel free and a weight lifted. But that weight is only temporarily lifted. It's come back down, and it's come back down even harder. And that's what I believe she's going through at the minute. And what she doesn't want to do, she's not ready to go into battle, because who the hell wants to go into battle with her mother? And she doesn't trust her with her feelings, and you can't give her any feedback. That comment that she said, can I have some of your precious time? What she wants to say is, it's not my precious time, mother, it's my precious feelings and emotions. That's what is sparse. That's what is precious. She'll never get it. She'll never get it. She knows it's futile. And so I've said, well, she doesn't want to go over old ground. You probably don't want to go over old ground because you know it's a waste of time. Why don't you just ring her? Put put her on the spot and say, right, what you got for us? And if she says, I'm not, it's not convenient, say, right, I'll ring you back later then. But, you know, at a time that suits you, Beacon, you just ring her back, again, out of the blue. Keep doing it out of the blue, so she hasn't got time to prepare. And just say, right, what's your news? And then at least you're on the phone. She can't see your emotions, she can't see your facial expressions, she can't see the reactions of her hurtful words, of her cruel intentions. But she doesn't want to do that because we both know that she's going to strike. She's going to tell her the news. What we suspect is the ATM's house is on the market, we're moving. I'm moving out. And then she's going to attack because the boogeyman has made it so it's impossible for me to live there. And then she's going to... So I'm the scapegoat. I'm the scapegoat on this occasion because, remember, she'll always choose the scapegoat as the weakest one in the narcissist circle. So in the narcissist circle, I'm the weakest one in her eyes because I've let go. I'm not in the circle. So I'm the weakest one, as in she's lost me. She still thinks she's got the Beacon in her circle of abuse. So she's going to shift the blame onto the scapegoat. She thinks that's going to save, well, two things. She thinks it's the best way to preserve, not save, because it's impossible to save, preserve the abusive relationship with her daughter by blaming somebody else, and drive a wedge between me and the Beacon. Double pronged attack. And also drive a wedge between our daughter and potentially me, because she thinks she doesn't realise, and my guess, she doesn't realise that this is absolutely broken. It's broken. The Beacon knows too much now. When I say knows too much, I don't mean what I've told her about her mother. I mean she knows too much about she's too aware of the psychology and the psychological trap that she's in. She's now too knowledgeable, too aware, and she knows that if she preserves any relationship with her mother, it's to the detriment of her self, her inner self, her growth as a human, her expansion. She knows that. Beacon doesn't know that. The husk doesn't know that because she's got no awareness. There is no awareness in the lower ego brain, in the lower ego level of consciousness. There is no self-awareness. There is no awareness. So she doesn't know how broke it is. So anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, she thinks that what's going to happen is she's never going to see me again. She can cope with that. She's not bothered with that. She's not bothered about dividing families. But she thinks on Christmases, birthdays and the like, she thinks that she's still going to get to see her daughter and her granddaughter together, and that they're just going to trot on up to their new house. Do you think the Beacon's going to the ATM's house after everything he's done and trampled on her feelings? She thinks, you know, my daughter and the Beacon are just going to trot on up to the ATM's house that she's exploiting for and just play the happy act, the happy family act. She knows it's an act. She knows it's an act. Let's be absolutely hammer this home. These people know what they are doing. So that's not going to happen, Husk, because the beacon fully understands what you are, and she fully understands that you're toxic and that you are dangerous to the development of the self, of others, and their expansion as humans, and to manifest and create an amazing future for themselves, carve that out. It all comes from your mind, and you cannot create anything in the lower ego consciousness. There is no creativity at that level, only destruction. That's why they're self-destructive. That's why they destroy everything, ultimately destroy relationships, and ultimately destroy themselves, as in the inner self. You'll find that these people, they're not into things like the arts, creative pastimes, or careers. They don't have anything creative. They can't design rooms, for example. They can't imagine what a room looks like when it's blank. They can't imagine a room looking blank if it's full of stuff. They can't imagine, they've got no imagination, and they can't create. And so they just keep the same. Keep the same. You'll often think that taste is a bit weird, a bit bland. They're not creative. Oh, yeah. Is it alright going through there? I was just saying, is it alright going through there? Yeah. Cheers. They're not creative beings. Where was I? So she can't imagine what the future looks like. So, oh yeah, that's where I was. So the beacon knows, she knows that she's toxic and that she holds you back and tries to trap you in her world of drama, chaos, hurt, pain and suffering. That's where she resides, in hell, in a conscious state of hell. And the beacon knows this now. I've helped her learn this. I mean, she kind of knows it, but I don't think she really, really deeply understood it and could apply it to her own life, and now she can. And she's not going back there. She's not going to destroy herself. And she's not going to destroy her own daughter by allowing her any sort of meaningful contact with the husk. This needs to be dealt with very, 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 very sensitively. This is not about me. Ego, stubbornness. Well, she's not seen my daughter. No, I'm keeping my daughter safe. She's dangerous. My daughter, I haven't had conversations with her. Every day is a different conversation because they're maturing and developing so quickly, especially at this age, 15. Every conversation, she really impresses us, blows my mind at her level of awareness and her level of consciousness, her quality of her thoughts, her morals, her dignity, her loyalty, not blind loyalty, loyalty to the truth, what's right and wrong, and her ability to conceptualize, grasp, conceptualize and explain and actually express what's going on in her world. She's really, really intelligent. By intelligent, I mean intelligence. I don't mean intellect. I mean real intelligence. A balance of intellect and the generative component, the gens. Intel is intellect, gens is generate. Generate is the you generate, you create, the creative part of the brain. A balance between the two gives you true insights, true rational understanding, and you can see the bigger picture of things, and you understand your intuition. You're tuned in. That's what intelligence is. So she is expanding. My daughter's still developing. Not fully, brain isn't fully formed until 25. 10 years left yet. She's expanding. I'm happy with her progress. I'm happy with her behaviours in general. Overall, I should say. I'm happy with what comes out of her mouth in terms of, as a representation of what's inside her head. I'm happy. I'm happy with where she is. She's expanding into the higher levels of consciousness. She's not getting dragged back down to hell by the husk. No way. I'm protecting my daughter, at least till she's 25, from the husk. And during that period, this will be explained to her. We are not a dysfunctional family. We don't have any skeletons in the closet, the three of us. We broke the cycle, broke forever. There is no more of the husk, her direct lineage anyway. There is none of it left. There is only roadkill, the beacon, and my daughter. That's the unholy trinity. Two of it's holy, one of it's not. That's all that's left of your maternal lineage husk. Gone forever. Boom. Broke the cycle. Now our daughter is going to generate and create a new family. In the future, a new family of fully conscious, fully aware, fully functioning human beings. That's what's going to happen now. And hallelujah. And the beacon knows this. There is no way she's getting her claws into her and dragging her back into the lower third dimensions of hell. So, the future is uncertain. And it's only uncertain as in we don't know exactly how it's going to pan out. There might be some grey rock, which is very, very, very minimal contact until it fizzles out. But there will be no opportunities to claw the beacon back in, and she's certainly not going to get those opportunities with her granddaughter. And yeah, we'll see how it pans out. But I just think, the beacon is struggling. She knows she needs to deal with it, but it shouldn't be on her shoulders yet again. The responsibilities and the guilt has been projected onto the beacon. She's the scapegoat at the minute, and then that'll all get projected onto me, the real scapegoat. No, I am an e-scapegoat. I have escaped. I'm an e-scapegoat. E-skate, did I say? Yeah, that's what you've got to be. Get the hell out of Dodge. Never go back. So it's just disgusting what she does to her. She's the mother. She should have the power to fix this. You know, the maternal bond, the mother figure, the responsibilities, mother to daughter never disappears. It's always there. That should never be transferred. You can fix this. It's in your power. And she's just left it. Here, Beacon. Have some more of my hell projection. So, in the dysfunctional family where there's a narcissist, but she is sociopath, automatically qualifies as a narcissist, cluster B personality disorders, whatever you want to call them. Wherever you come across a narcissist, you will always find an enabler right by their side. And I'm learning more and more about this as time goes on. When you see a narcissist, look for the enabler. It's never far away. The enablers, we were it for a bit for this little period. We were enablers. Stepdad was an enabler. He just put up with her. Nobody challenged her. And roadkill, definite flying monkey, codependent relationship. That's to conditioning, grooming, and cycles of abuse. You groom somebody who's dependent on you, and you're dependent on them. They're givers, you're takers. And they become dependent on give, because they're in a toxic mindset as well. They only exist down there. They have got low self-esteem, and the only way they can feel better is by give to somebody who gives them fake gratitude, fake attention, and makes them feel better by taking off them. It builds their self-esteem, but again, never gets above dysfunctional pride. That's where they're trapped. Their self-esteem is so low, they can't get out of that contracted vicious circle of consciousness. You can see that all day long in the roadkill. She's a flying monkey. She's got no loyalty to anybody apart from the husk, apart from the wicked witch. And she was a huge enabler. There's always more than one enabler. Or there's potentially more than one. There's more enablers out there than narcissists. You know, there might be 50 flying monkeys, there's only one wicked witch. So, when you see a narcissist, look for that. And there will be at least one enabler, and probably right next to them, as in that close relationship. And who's that now? Oh, it's the White Knight. It's Mr. ATM. And yeah, he's come in to save the day. That's what he thinks. Because he's Mr. Meek, Mr. Low Self-Esteem, Mr. Submissive, Mr. I'll just agree with everybody because I've got no balls. That's who he is. He thinks he's come in. Thinks he's come in to save the day. But what he doesn't realise is he's cannon fodder. Cannon fodder for the narcissist, for the husk. And now she's got a new permanent enabler. And that's it. She doesn't need us anymore. We're poor food now. We're not interacting. We're not giving her what she needs. So she's gone on to our next victim.